What up, guys? I'm over from Meathead to Meatless, and today I'm going to talk about how much protein you need as a raw vegan. So obviously, everybody has heard the protein, requirements and stuff like that. Everybody has an idea, and generally, everybody is like, "Oh, I know you need lots of protein." That's why people say things like, "How do you get your protein? Where do you get your protein from?" And things like that. So people are kind of brainwashed with protein. To be honest with you, a lot of it comes from bodybuilding, and most people aren't bodybuilders, and it comes from the steroid taking bodybuilders, and anybody who's not one of those does not need to listen to what those people are doing. So how much protein do you really need? Well, it depends on some things, but one thing that I can say for sure is you probably need less than you think you need. Let's say you're trying to build muscle and you're like, man, I'm skinny, I want to gain muscle or whatever, I want to put on some muscle, I need to eat more protein. Well, that's not necessarily true. What you probably need to do is eat more calories, okay? So there's a couple of kind of rules when it comes to wanting to have a better body composition, meaning more muscle, less body fat. And some of those rules are, if let's say specifically speaking to raw vegans, some of those rules are that you don't want to have carbs, aka fruit, too many times throughout the day, okay? And also, you don't want to rely only on fruit and green vegetables, okay? Because that's not going to give you first of all, if you're only relying on fruit for all of your calories, then you're going to be missing a lot of nutrients. There's going to be a lot of nutrients that you're missing, and you need something to give you some sustenance, okay? You need some nuts and seeds, okay? You don't need to go crazy with those nuts and seeds, but things like nuts, seeds, olives, avocados, preferably all organic, raw, that stuff is really good for you. And if you try to, in my experience, okay, if you try to build like a really muscular but lean physique on a diet that consists of like 80% fruit, 10% fat, 10% protein, you can't do it, in my personal experience. You have to go a little bit higher in the nuts and seeds, and then to keep that body fat really low and help bring it down, you got to go away from the carbs towards the end of the day. For most people, if you're exceptionally active and you have a good metabolism, then you don't necessarily have to do that. But generally speaking, if you want to have like a six-pack, if you want to see your abs, most people are going to have to go away from carbs at the end of the day, okay? So with that being said, and then of course there's things like intermittent fasting. That's a whole different topic that I'm not going to go into, but generally speaking, you're going to want to have a little bit more of those nuts, those seeds, those olives, those avocados, and you're not going to have to worry about the number that you hit. You really don't need to worry about how much protein am I hitting, because those foods are higher in protein, in addition to greens being pretty decently high as well. If you're eating those things daily, then your protein is going to be taken care of, okay? No matter who you are, no matter how much protein you need. Let's say you're somebody who needs 2,000 calories a day. Well, you're going to end up eating less protein. If you're somebody that's bigger like me, you weigh well over 200 pounds, and you need more like 4,000 calories a day, then your protein is going to be much higher just based off the fact that you're eating so much more food. So try to keep that in mind, and don't worry so much about hitting a specific number when it comes to protein. But I could definitely explain this more in depth, but it would have to be on a more individual basis, because like I said, everybody's different. But I hope this gives you guys like at least a basic overview where you could say, okay, I don't need to worry about protein. I really just need to make sure I'm eating these kinds of foods that contain it on a daily basis, and then I'll be taken care of. I do offer coaching for anybody who wants it. Just hit me up at frommeatheadmeatless@gmail.com. Please only if you're serious and ready to make some changes. And yeah, please like the video, comment, subscribe if you enjoy this stuff. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.